Exhale Pro Stories invites you to join us as we explore the High Road Beyond Borders tour, an exciting journey to Thailand. Together, we'll learn about the rich culture, evolving landscape, and current state of the cannabis market as it exists in Thailand today. Take the High Road tour with us and discover what's possible beyond borders.
All right, y'all. How's it going? I'm Fame Noel of Exhale Social Pro Stories. This is where we explore the humans behind the brands and, in this case, the tours. We are proud to be official media partners of the High Road Beyond Borders tour, and they are stopping in Thailand, which we're super excited about. This tour was created by international market pioneer and 30-year cannabis veteran Monica Marie Garcia. And today we're going to be talking to some of the sponsors. We're super excited to have Gaurav Sehgal of Siam Green with us here today. One of the sponsors out in Thailand. Yesterday, we were able to talk with Brian from the Beach Samui, who's over there. So yeah, we're really excited to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. So we want to learn a little bit about you. Again, on Exhale Pro Stories, we explore a little bit about the humans behind the brands, and then we'll get into the tour and your participation in it. So I just want to know firsthand from you, what is Siam Green all about? What is the culture at Siam Green?
We really focus on things like super high quality sourcing, on education, legitimacy. It's been a really interesting ride from day one until today, right? The Thai government did it almost the opposite to the way the US did it, which is probably the normal way to do it, right? Go medical first and then gradually open up recreational. But what happened here was Pandora's box was opened, and now they're trying to, grab whatever flew out everywhere and put it back into the box slowly. So Siam Green has been a part of the journey since the very beginning, about 6 months into cannabis becoming legal. Our mission has always been to destigmatize the plant. Destigmatization through education, I would say, is one of our biggest goals from day one. Until date, I have never met anybody who truly understands cannabis, who's against it, right? The people who are generally against it are the people who don't really quite fully understand it.
Absolutely. That's a very valid point. It's individuals who don't want to understand it at the same time, right? Because the information now is out there about how cannabis can help us in our daily lives. It's like people are just looking the other way when the information's there. And that's why it's so important, again, for places such as yourself, Siam Green, to be able to educate the community, because dispensaries aren't just here to sell products. You have to educate them on what they're using. We have to make them feel comfortable, right, about coming into our doors and asking those questions in the first place. So yeah, what you're doing is really important. It's beyond just having a dispensary. It's making sure they are consuming the correct information about cannabis, because there's so much misinformation out there.
Yeah, 100%. Just to add to that, I think you used a really important word, which is responsibility. And I think that lies on the retailers more than anybody, more than the farms, the distributors, because
Yes.
the retailers are the ones actually speaking to the people coming to buy, helping with misinformation and spreading information and all of that. We have a lot more access to the public. So I think that's what we've always seen it as well as just like a duty or a responsibility.
And speaking of that responsibility, how do you prepare your staff for being able to educate the public? What do you have in place for that?
Well, we do weekly cannabis education. So every single one of our staff members, and not even just the customer-facing ones, but we make sure that everybody in the company receives weekly education. We have one member of staff whose role is literally QC and education, and that's all he does, is manage the quality of the flowers at every store and keep up to date with not only education about the plants, but about trends, about laws, about all of that. And so everybody is just constantly pumped with information.
How would you describe the cannabis culture historically in Thailand? Now, are you from the area? Are you a transplant as well?
Well, I'm basically Indian ethnically, but
Okay.
I'm third generation Thai. So paperwork wise, I'm 100% Thai, passport ID and
Okay,
everything.
that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
So then
Uh,
you can answer this question then. Historically, how do you feel how do you think things have transpired from maybe 25 years ago to now?
I was born in 85. So around the 70s, end of the 60s, early 70s, when Thailand was an R&R station for American Vietnam War vets. That's when things kind of changed. And also around the whole Opium Act and all of that, right? Which affected cannabis worldwide. But before that, cannabis was it was consumed in villages. People would put leaves in soup. It was just kind of there was nothing really taboo about it at the time. That's why even today, when you speak to, the much more elderly population, especially from outside of Bangkok, they don't really think much of it. This is just something they used to put into their noodle soup, um, something they used to cook with. There's 16 or 17 Thai traditional remedies which use cannabis as well, like proper medicines. So the way you have traditional Chinese medicine, there's traditional Thai medicine. Cannabis is a part of several medicines. That doctors would actually make and prescribe for certain ailments. It was only later, during the whole hippie movement and that whole era where people started to use it to a level which you'd be able to label as abuse, I guess, and which gave it a bad reputation. But
Those damn hippies.
I think I think after that it just kind of started to have the same taboo it built up everywhere else in the world, right? People started to see it as this drug. Um, it
Yes.
doesn't kill anybody, it doesn't cause fights or car accidents or anything like that, like other things.
And it was a symbol of freedom, whether it was for the hippies or whether it was blacks in jazz, in the US, it was a
Yep.
symbol of freedom. So it was something that they used to prosecute those groups who utilize the plant, right?
But recent legalization has changed everything. I don't know if you've been to Thailand yet since the
I
change,
have
but
not.
it is quite crazy. There's a lot of retail stores all over the place, no matter which city you're in.
It's the same over here. When they legalize lots and lots of retail, especially in New York City, they're seeing a lot of that. And speaking of that, do you feel like there's an oversaturation happening there because of that?
A major oversaturation.
Okay, but you're saying some of the same things we're seeing here in the US as you roll
Yeah,
things.
100%. I mean, I think the biggest problem is in order to open a store, all you needed was about $80 and a rental agreement. So you can imagine the
What?
number of stores. Yeah,
I
that's it.
missed that boat.
No background check, no education, none of
Oh
that, right? They
my.
just open it up, and so you can imagine the type of people that this attracted.
Right.
And I'm not talking about people from legacy markets or anything like that, but I just mean anybody who had a little bit of money could open up a store.
Right.
At the same time, there still are no limitations on farm licenses. So farms are opening up as fast as stores. And what you had happening is, a farm can supply possibly 100 stores or something like that. And when they're opening up as fast as a store, the farms all start to suffer. It becomes, the stores hold a lot of power. They start negotiating prices down. Prices plummeted within the first year to less than half
Oh
of what
wow.
stores started selling for.
So
Um,
what is being put in place infrastructure wise to kind of deal with all of that? Is there anything that's happening legislation wise to address this?
yeah, the government is now trying to basically, obviously without saying this, but make it more difficult, set higher barriers to entry for stores.
Right.
They're talking about having to convert, or any new stores would have to become a licensed clinic instead of just a shop with a cannabis license.
Right.
Uh, you have to have prescriptions and things like that now. There's still a big lack of enforcement, but I think it's happening slowly. All these new changes have caused a big shutdown of stores. I think people who are not as serious or as well funded as they thought they needed to be and things like that. They're finding it a little difficult. So the next step is probably going to be somehow controlling the licenses for farms and things like that. They haven't talked about that too much yet, but I think the code red situation right now is just a number of stores.
People, as far as New York is concerned, people are both, depending on which side depending on if you're benefiting or not, people are both ecstatic and then also pissed off about the laws and the way they're being rolled out. It's one of those things where you can't like satisfy everyone, right?
We're seeing you said it perfectly. We're seeing exactly that,
Yes, you just can't. You do the best you can with what you have. And I think that's what everyone is trying to do right now. But there is definitely a lot that we can all learn from one another, which is why I think it's awesome that B is visiting Thailand and this High Road Beyond Borders tour is happening, because it really is connecting us worldwide from a different perspective. I know there are other cannabis agencies out there that are international, cannabis media agencies, but I know for a fact that V has an eye for things, and I'm really excited to see her point of view in Thailand,
Yes.
what she learns and what she experiences within you all's culture. What makes this Thailand cannabis tour different from typical industry events or trade missions that you've experienced so far in Thailand?
I think just the international coverage, having somebody from completely overseas, uninvolved in the Thai cannabis scene. I think that's really the main thing for me. We've had some coverage in international publications like New York Times, High Times Magazine, and Al Jazeera as well. But I think these were just kind of mentions, right? But having somebody coming from overseas who's involved in cannabis overseas, doing a whole tour that's just about this and nothing else, that's the big attraction.
What opportunities do you see for Thailand cannabis businesses through this tour's connection to the U.S. market?
The biggest maybe would be investment or acquisition opportunities for overseas markets. I think the U.S. especially and other countries have been very scared of entering the cannabis market in Thailand, and totally understandable, because if I was in the US seeing what's on the news, the way they display it, I would also be afraid to enter. I think once V comes here and sees the scene,
Yeah.
it could be easily made clear that there's nothing to be afraid of. It's actually been very stable. It's really the media who gets wind of something, and I mean the very like commercial media, newspapers and all of that, who immediately publish things as though they've happened before they actually happen. And it makes it look like the law changes back and forth constantly, but it's not how it's happened. The law has come and it's actually not really changed much until June. And I'm worried about saying this because I might upset a bunch of people, but I feel that a lot of the new laws that are coming are actually good for the industry and not bad. And I don't really like the idea of controlling it or regulating, because I do believe it's for everybody. I got into this for health reasons as well. But I do think that there are a lot of opportunists who took advantage of it and, selling product without understanding it, selling moldy product without understanding the harm that it can cause and all of that type of stuff. So I think anything that can help to regulate the quality a little bit more would be good for us.
Again, there's already this stigma associated with the plant when we got started. So when people start hearing about bad weed being out there, it's just like, a double whammy when it comes to this stigma that's been applied to it. So
Exactly.
yeah, if you're going to grow it right.
Yeah, 100%. Learn about it first so that you don't make these mistakes. Now, if you learn about it and you're still making the mistakes, you shouldn't be in the business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not something you can learn overnight.
No,
It's even the minimal knowledge that I have, because my partner grows, it's taking me our whole relationship to accumulate, and I still only know the tip of the iceberg. So
yes,
it's a whole science, and you have to have a respect, for the art of growing. how can viewers and listeners connect with you? You know, what do you all have going on over there, and how can we get in touch? Maybe investors, where can we find you?
LinkedIn, email, or Instagram. We're very easily contactable. Siam Green Cannabis Co. And our Instagram is at Siam Green Siam Green Co. Sorry. And you have my email address.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, we're very easy to get in touch with.
Okay, awesome. All right, thank you so much, you all. We were just talking to Gaurav Sehgal over at Siam Green. We are so excited for V to be heading over there to Thailand for the High Road Beyond Borders tour. To all the pros out there, thank you so much for listening. You can find this episode on YouTube and anywhere podcasts are found. Be sure to subscribe to Exhale Social Pro by visiting exhalesocial.com. And thank you so much for the High Road Beyond Borders tour sponsors. We have Marijuana Ventures, BakedBot AI, Siam Green, Izumo Greene, the Beach Samui, Hash Colored Cannabis, Psychedelic States of America.
Get your passports ready. The High Road Beyond Borders tour is coming to Thailand.
That's perfect. You're done.
Right. It's 8 a.m.
It's 8 p.m. for me. I'm crashing and you're just waking up.